I'm going to be really brief because we want to get to hear what you have to say about the direction of the city. But there's a lot of smart people out there and up here who are going to help us move the city forward. I want to thank you for taking time out of your own busy schedules to be out here today in this beautiful school. Central High School is one of the best, if not the best in the city. And let's just get to what you have to say and give us some direction on where we go over the next 4 years. Thanks for coming out.
All right. Hey. My name is Tara Khan. I'm a nurse practitioner. I live and work in Germantown. Proud graduate of 255 Central High School. Philadelphia, I just want to say real quick, Jim, I'm a big fan of yours. I love the passion, outside the box thinking, and your progressivism. The whole thing of inclusiveness is great. If anyone hasn't seen the video of Jim when he was in city council, he was talking about those two gay people, young people that were beaten in Philadelphia. To hear Jim speak passionately about what kind of city Philadelphia is, a city of inclusion, a city of love, and if you want to do something like that, if you want to be discrimination, get out of Philadelphia. So I want to just thank you for that, Jim. One of the things I know you're passionate about is pedestrian safety. In Philadelphia, I think it was recently ranked only behind Baltimore as most dangerous cities for pedestrians in the Northeast. In Center City in the last 3 years, twice I was almost hit by a car walking in the crosswalk because of aggressive drivers. So I was wondering what your administration is going to do to kind of crack down on aggressive driving drivers and to protect the safety of pedestrians in Philadelphia. Thank you.
Okay, the next person. Yes, the lady right there. Right there. She had a question? Right there. You want to? No, we're not. What we're going to do is what?
I think part of the reason to be here is that we're taking information from you. So to respond to every single thing, I think will take up more time than we have to get your questions in. We are working on Vision Zero Safe Streets, and we will have there's policy paper out already. Will be stuff coming out soon. So it is a priority for us.
Yes, Office Bay, committee president of 10th Ward, 4th District, and block captain of 900 block of 71st Avenue. One of my major concerns is the regentrification of North Philadelphia, and as you move the folks from North Philly to various parts of the city, and they get these homes, some of these folks maybe have never owned homes. And are there any programs in place to just educate them on how to be a homeowner, some of the responsibilities of being a homeowner, other than just getting a voucher or whatever, and getting a home and roughing it? They're being put into well-established.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think the way we deal with this is by bolstering our CDC, by having the Housing Trust Fund bolstered up financially, and making sure that we have the opportunities for affordable housing in areas that are gentrifying. And when people do come in to neighborhoods, we will work with the Housing Authority and the CDCs to make sure we have some kind of program so that people understand the responsibility of home ownership in a respectful way.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Sabra Townsend. Good evening, Mayor-elect Kenney. I'm here with my son, Brandon, who is a public school student in Philadelphia. I graduated from that all-girls high school up the street in Philadelphia. And my brother graduated from Central. I say that to say that every school should have an auditorium so nice. Every school should have what I had from kindergarten through 12th grade, and that is nurturing, caring, union, public school teachers. So, in all of this is my question. If we're to be a world-class city, if we're to maintain ourselves as the 5th largest, and hopefully 4th largest, if people come to Philadelphia, how do we maintain the businesses? How do we maintain the arts? How do we maintain what we have and what I love as the city of Philadelphia if we do not have adequately funded, properly staffed with arts, music, dance, math, science, English, sports teams. I had all of that. My son should get no less.
Good evening again. Thank you for your comments. Everything that you are asking for is a desire of Jim Kenney and the new administration coming in. We're going to be looking at new models to support schools, hopefully in a way that's much more creative, in any way that we can, given the role that we play in supporting the school district of Philadelphia. One of the things that we're charged to do is looking at community schools and how we define those community schools. An important piece of that is really and actually the most important piece is getting input from the community members themselves and asking them, what do you want to see in your schools? And making sure that they have resources available to them. But that still doesn't let the state off the hook or the district off the hook to make sure that there's still teachers, they're still adequately funded. So we're still going to fight that fight as well. But we are looking at new models to make sure that if there is something that's lacking in the school, we work hard to make sure that they have it. And nurses.
Yes. I see Representative Mark Cohen just came in too. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ernie Bristow. Hi. And I'm here as a transitioning teen mom. And my main concern as a mom is safety for my children. I wear many hats throughout the city of Philadelphia, being a part of 1199, being a part of BET, bringing everybody together, being a part of Logan Island stakeholders. And my twins are just as active as I am. As you witnessed my son standing here, he was jumped on last year, coming home from a program. And the lights, street lights, or the lights were not working. The cameras were not working from his school. He was coming from an active program, and a group of kids decided they wanted to pick with him. Thank God he wasn't seriously hurt, but not only are the street lights my concern, safety is concern for my children. I went to William Penn, that actually is being knocked down right now. One of my children went to Germantown High School. That school is closed. My twins go to Samuel Phelps High School, and they're in the arts program, marching band. They're part of Logan Island Junior stakeholders. They're part of BET. They're part of Youth Action. They're part of Advocate Institute. They are so active in the city, they got a resume out this world. My problem as a mom is we have to continue to make sure that each school in Philadelphia don't close. We rally in Harrisburg for policy. I rallied, they on the bus rallying with me in Harrisburg, marching and making sure. We was just there 2 weeks ago saying, please pass the budget. Can you pass the budget? It's just horrific. And me as a parent, I'm not going to put out any more what I do. I'm coming here as a parent who have children and their friends in school trying to do their best to get an education, and there's lack of nursing, lack of arts, lack of everything. And for it to be 2015, it is horrific that our children have to go through this in this day and age. Please help our children. Thank you.
Hello, how are you? My name is Toya Algarin, and I'm just here as a mom as well. And I can identify with a few things that everyone has said. My son was hit by a car. Currently, in my view, there are no high-quality schools in this area. Maybe this school and Girls High, but my son wasn't accepted there. And fortunately, he does go to a great quality school, but guess where it's at? It's in West Philadelphia. It's Kip Du Bois Collegiate Academy. 2 years ago, the first day of school, he was hit by a car going to school. Okay, he went to CHOP. He was in a coma for 2 weeks. His jaw was broken in 3 places, and right now he is trying to get back his academic prowess. But fortunately enough, KIPP is there, and it's a charter school, but it's a public school. But fortunately enough, they're there for him, and I wanted to know, what would you do to increase high-quality schools in the city of Philadelphia?
First of all, and I've had this comment before about what would I do, it's what we're going to do. It's about what we're going to do. Because your child and that child and your child there, they're my kids too. And unless we have that attitude about all of our children, not just one neighborhood or another neighborhood, all of our children matter, and all of our children need to be safe, and that's why our selection of police commissioner, I think, is a stellar selection, is Richard Ross, who's a graduate here. But also what Otis Hackney talked about regarding community schools. The city of Philadelphia delivers services in many, many departments to many parts of the city. Schools can be and will be the center of the universe when it comes to the delivery of services. And some examples, and that was raised earlier about having gymnasium space and things of that nature. We can reprogram our folks to deal with stuff after school programs in the schools, DHS in the schools, the health department in the schools, by creating this community school model or replicating it, because we've seen it in other cities, where those city services that are being delivered now every day will be delivered through the school base differently than they are now. So we're not going to, and what happened was when the SRC took over, basically it became this, it's their problem. No, it's not, it's our problem. They're our kids, they're our schools. I mean, we have a governance issue we have to deal with, but we'll get over it. We'll deal with the state, and we have hardworking folks in Harrisburg working every day to try to bring the money we need back. I think the budget will be resolved shortly, and then we'll see where we stand, but we're in this together, all of us.
Okay, I'm gonna get somebody to come down here. I know I'm gonna get her down. I'm gonna come right back to the gentleman. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Shantae Love. I'm the director of Emir Healing Center, which stands for Every Murder is Real. And my not only concern, but I need to say that I'm applaud you for us looking at services and support through different lenses. That is extremely important as we come together. But I want us to also focus on not only healing the community as it's impacted, but lessening us having violence as a major component, as well as educating that the holistic and the trauma-informed approach, we are all so many different neighborhoods, that's so important. But I want to applaud us for all getting together as we lessen violence and as we heal victims impacted by murder.
Steve, do you want to show? Yes.
Hi, my name is Patrick. I wanted to ask the mayor first about ASL. It must be recognized as a primary language. Of course, a primary language for the deaf community as well as the deaf of Philadelphia. And deaf children can grow up and have accessibility and easier to be able to communicate in their primary language, starting from kindergarten all the way through high school. And it also has to be recognized as a primary language for the deaf. That's one. Two, a key position in the state and federal jobs in Philadelphia. We must hire deaf people to understand how our deaf children feel. And as citizens of Philadelphia, to have a representative to get what they need and as primary things and what their needs are, that needs to be communicated. And if you communicate with the deaf first at an education, then you can address it at all levels because the language is being met. And if you take away their language, they'll lose it all and their needs. Thank you for your time and giving me an opportunity to speak.
Yes, hi. My name is Joe Budd of Men Who Care of Germantown. We're a community-based organization that are doing things in Germantown. I'm a graduate of Germantown High School, Roosevelt, and Emlyn. We were out there in the fight trying to stop them from closing Germantown High School with a lot of our leaders in Germantown. I see Cindy Bass over there. She was heading that up, trying to stop them from closing that. But my question is, you talked about community schools, and we're ready and willing and able to do things in the community. We even went into Roosevelt, we cleaned up the yard, knocked back some of the weeds and everything. We're ready to do that. But Bob Wolf sent someone to Martin Luther King last year, and they said they were looking into community schools. You guys are saying you're looking into community schools. Why can't we start now doing something while we're waiting for all of the stuff to get cleared up? We're ready to start. We're ready to clean up some of the yards of the school. We're ready to do whatever we can do right now. And there's several other community organizations, Germantown United, CDC, Germantown Community School Organization is trying to do things in the school, but we're ready. We're ready. We just need to go ahead. We have manpower.
We're not,
manpower
we're
ready.
not, we're not waiting. We've been working since, seriously, after the primary, we started talking about this to get this thing together. I mean, I'm not sworn in yet. January, I can't really start directing departments and other folks to do certain things until I get there. So I'm getting there soon. I mean, Christmas is coming. But we've been working closely with Otis Hackney and trying to develop that models to make sure that we have day one ready to get into those schools. And I will give you just a couple examples. Principals know what's going on in their schools. They also know the kids that are in trouble, the kids, their families are in trouble, and we need to be able to communicate with them on a regular basis so we know what's going on in the neighborhood. But we have the department, like the water department, for example, that needs to control stormwater. We can do that by greening our schoolyards, which we've been doing. We're going to expand that opportunity to do that. At night, one of the things that I deal with all the time is trying to find gym space for people who want to volunteer to recreate their kids in basketball or volleyball or indoor soccer. There's no reason why we can't have this in the school-based model. And I'm telling you, I know there's some level of skepticism amongst everyone when it comes to government. All we have to do is get started, and I think you'll see a difference. Yes, sir.
Before I get there, I'm going to go with this young lady, and I'll come back to this gentleman there. Yes. You want to go? Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Janine Harmon. I am a mother at John Wister Elementary School. My main concern is saving the school and not turning it into a charter school. Worcester School is really like historic Philadelphia. Like when I look at Worcester, I look at it as historic Philadelphia. Worcester has been sitting there for over 30 years. Never once did I hear Worcester was going to be becoming an ex-charter school. And I just ask that you give back, Mr. Kenney, I just ask that you give back to the children what we once had, and that's a fair education. And to save the children, because it's not about us as adults, it's about their productive future and what they can do, so on after that. And I heard a lot of people speak on the safety and everything, because the schools were stripped of a lot of things. There's no arts, there's no gym, there's no, like Worcester Elementary School, for instance, they have a STS program in there. They don't get paid for that. They have an STS program in there that work with children that have, little behaviors. They have advocates that sits in the classroom from class to class with students, and they help them. Like, it's really like a family thing. And I would just like to see Worcester saved. Like, I would like to see Worcester saved. It's been there for 30 years. Like, a lot of good teachers, very good supportive teachers. You got teachers in there that really take to them children. They do for the children. They go out the way for the children. And I just ask that Worcester be saved, and that's it.
Hi, Jim. Hey, what I want to boast about is the trash in the city, but I came up with a really good idea that could really be cool. Number one, the fine for the state of Pennsylvania is $350 for littering in the state of Pennsylvania. If you would get the cops to enforce the law and to promote it, give each cop $10 out of the ticket, $40 to the court, and take $300, no, hold everybody, this ain't funny. Take $300 and give it to the school system. All you moms, dads crying about the school system, but give $300 to the schools. Who'll say yes to that? All right? And to get the neighborhoods cleaned up, how about making a neighborhood contest where every neighborhood in the city competes for first place, and the 3 cleanest neighborhoods will get a tax reduction in their property tax for a year. Like first place, get 50% off. All right? This is an idea to get everyone to clean the city up, because look, everybody, hey, all you young kids, check this out. When Frank Rizzo ran the city back in the 70s, this city was clean. You didn't see trash nowhere. But ever since he left, there's trash everywhere. Weeds, it's gross sickening. You could eat off the streets back then. I know, Jim, you grew up here. You would remember that. The next idea I got is all these vacant... Hold, one more thing.
Excuse me a second. Remember I said a minute. I've been more than liberal.
Everyone's been learning. Give me one more minute.
One more second. Got some more people got to get in.
The next thing I got for you is all these vacant buildings. You get contractors come in, turn them into condos or apartments, and also get companies come in here and start taking them to run new business out and bring more jobs here. That's what I got for you.
Thank you very much. Steve, go there. And then could you come down front? There's some people down here. In front. Can,
Okay.
yes, go ahead.
I just want to make a comment. My name is Gerald Wright, and I really want to say about schools. We have a dysfunctional management system. So I'm afraid that as you fight and as we've been fighting to get more money, we have people at the helm that are not listening to parents. They're not listening to the community. When we organize and go down to a school reform committee meeting, we are faced with a line of police officers across the door. This is like a Gestapo kind of situation. They do not respect the community, the parents, or the kids. The SRC needs to be gone. I urge you to make that a top priority, because the charter says what would happen if it's gone. Whatever you want to do after that, we can debate and discuss. But they are such a bad situation. They need to go. Reform is to help return management to efficiency and proper activity. Reform is not forever. You get back to your institution. And we got to get back to that institution. Like you're here today talking with people, listening. These folks listen all day, but then hold a vote even if everyone in the room has spoken for 3 hours and said that's not the thing to do. They still vote their own way because they've already made their vote behind closed doors.
Excuse me, I don't want, excuse me. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Sandy Folzer, and I have some legitimacy. I have 2 granddaughters, one who graduated from Central, the other one who's still here, so I have some legitimacy. My concern is about the children, but the health aspect. Right now, 72% of the air pollution in Philadelphia comes from the refineries at Energy Solutions. And I'm concerned about this because the people who suffer the most are the residents nearby. These are cancer, I don't know if you know a lot about air pollution, but not only does it cause cancer, because you have benzene and other horrible chemicals, but it also causes heart problems. There's a 25% increase in asthma, health problems for anybody who lives nearby. Now, my question is this. I am concerned because I know that Phil Rinaldi is part of the transition team. He is head of the Energy Solution, which is causing all this pollution. And I'm very concerned about that. I am hoping that we can make Philadelphia a sustainable energy hub, not a fossil fuel energy hub, so that we can have health in the city. And if people use the argument that it's more jobs, that's a falsehood, because the jobs in fossil fuel are capital heavy, which means that they need money. They are not labor intensive. If you really want good jobs, long-lasting jobs, and people are not killed, like in Texas, where I think it was 43% of the workers, in the oil refineries are killed. But anyway, the side is, my important point is that I want somebody on the transition team who's in sustainable energy, and I want the city to recognize the health of the community and that jobs are with sustainable energy.
Let me go, yes.
Yes, I have my name is MJ Fletcher, and I have a employment suggestion for the city as well as the country. I think if we were to take the high rises and schools and the stairwells and catch rainwater, we would cut down on floods in the neighborhoods and save water and have water for a fire prevention event at the same time. So if we could do that, we could hire about 20,000 workers to work on this project in the city of Philadelphia alone. And once it starts moving around the country, it'll become a very good thing for the country. I'd appreciate it if you look into that.
Did you, Steve, have something?
Good evening. My name is Treen Smith. I stand here as a representative and proxy for underserved demographic, and that would be public housing. I have here evidence of the Philadelphia Housing Authority's gross misconduct, their abusive affronts, which have gone on for at least 5 years. More recently, my family is suffering from mold. There's mold in the house. We had a severe water problem, main water valve that broke on October the 24th. This was subsequent my having called Washington, D.C. HUD, Office of Inspector General, and the PHA is a mess. I realized that they was just on the news last Tuesday, and I would like to get some news coverage tonight if I can, because this is just a mess. I realize that you're not the mayor yet, but Christmas is coming. I would like to hand this to you for pre-Christmas gift.
Yes.
Hi there. My name is Kelly McShane, and I reside in the East Oak Lane community. My parents raised their 9 kids in Philadelphia neighborhoods. All 5 girls went to Girls High. I lived in New York City for 20 years, and I chose to come back about 10 years ago. So you would say I'm a born-again Philadelphian. I love this city. I love what has happened in Center City. I love the development, the restaurants, the greening movement. There's so much positive future ahead, but we really need to be focusing on our neighborhoods, specifically here at the northern gates of Philadelphia. We have a community that actively plants trees, that takes care of their properties, that reaches out to other communities so that we can hold hands together. One of the things, though, is that because we're all the way here in the northern end, we are somewhat forgotten about by our city agencies. There's beautiful development happening from Temple University down to Center City. We would like to see that kind of attention and focus on North Broad Street and Old York Road from Temple University all the way down to Cheltenham Avenue. You have eds and meds. You've got LaSalle University. It is an embarrassment coming into the city from this vantage point. Overbrook Farms is gorgeous, Chestnut Hill, South Philadelphia, beautiful entrances into our city. Please focus on Cheltenham Avenue at Broad Street and Old York Road, as well as the Roosevelt Expressway extension. You come off and it is just derelict, and it is embarrassment, and it does not need to be. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me get that. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Karen Nielsen, and I am a staff member at Cook Elementary School. It's a K-8 school. Yeah. So right now, Cook is selected to become one of the 3 schools that is going to change over to a charter school. And one of the big issues that I have with this is that there was no community involvement or vote or even talk with the parents of whether or not they wanted this to become a charter school. And Kenney, and I love this environment because you are listening to the people. And the community schools is all about involving people in what they want in a school. Now, Cook, we have 15 staff members here. Past time, it's because we're dedicated and we see a future in Cook, and we would really love a community school in Cook. We already have a mental health clinic, a medical clinic already in the school, a basketball program that I know you're visiting Thursday. So we have some of the base resources that we could grow from.
Thank you for being here. My name's Lorinda, and I just want to be sure that you know that when a charter school opens, they take kids. Okay? They don't take all kids. And so where are our children going to go? If Cook is closed, if Cook is not a community public school, and the charters won't take them, where will our children go?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Maria Serna. I am the founder of the group, community group 5 for Driver License PA. I am here in representation of our community's immigrants. I'm asking you, Jean Kenney, you pass a symbolic resolution and support about the approval for the bill, proposal bill AB 1450, who allow the immigrant communities to get the restitution for the driver license, the access to your human right to the mobility. We know this is a symbolic resolution, but maybe you are the man we are waiting for 6 years to pass this happen in Pennsylvania. Thank you so much.
You have Numa. I know you're not asking a question, Numa. Make sure you have one. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. My name is Pat Edward.
Can you talk up a little louder, please, so they can hear you?
Oh, I didn't think I had to yell into mic, sorry. Good evening. I just wanted to cover some of the stuff that I think I spoke to some people that are in Jim's upcoming administration about recreation. I think that's something that's missing, and that's why a lot of young people end up in the prison system. So it's not only schools, schools that is a big part of it, but also what they do when they're out of school, because we have a lot of children out here that are latchkey kids, and they need influence outside of just school and their neighborhood. So I think that's something else that I would like you to touch on and give maybe young guys that are doing stuff access to rec centers.
Let me give you a little example of how we try to work. During the summer, I went to a picnic in South Philadelphia out by Stinger Square, which is a recreation facility around 32nd and Wharton. And as I sat there and talked to some of the young fellas there, some of them had had some trouble in their lives and straightened themselves out, and they got back and had their children and are upstanding people now and are trying to do their best. But they said to me, there's no place for our kids. We want to volunteer. We want to recreate our own kids. We have no place to volunteer. Across the street is sitting a Salvation Army building, which has 2 people working in it at the time, with a beautiful gym. And around the corner, a linear playground is being renovated. And Auden Reed is right there down the street. There's a bunch of facilities right there. So we coordinated Police Athletic League with the Salvation Army. They're going to probably do a deal to open a PAL Center at the Salvation Army, which puts the basketball court back in play. We're looking at putting in, the neighbors in the community didn't want basketball outside because sometimes there's some problems with that. So we're looking at a tennis program with Arthur Ashe, having the city do the tennis courts, and Arthur Ashe come in and program the tennis courts so that we can get the next Serena or Venus Williams out of that neighborhood. And then around the corner, Lanier's getting done. Councilman, what am I losing? No, not Squilla. Kenyatta Johnson's renovating Lanier Playground, which will have a multi-surface football and baseball facility. So all these young parents in the neighborhood can now actually have facilities for their kids so they can donate their time to recreate their own kids. That's the way it works in successful neighborhoods, and that's the way it's going to work out in Grace Ferry. So that's an example of how we respond to those kinds of issues. So thank you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Kenya Holmes, and I've spoken at a lot of places on this subject, and I understand that you want to implement community module here in Philadelphia. But while you're doing that, do you have the power to stop any votes of schools becoming charter? Because see, my son's school right now, both my sons are in John Worcester Elementary. And they're endangered right now of becoming a charter. Right now, I am fighting the SRC to try to turn over Dr. Height's strong recommendation of our school. We have one more meeting to a vote in January. I know you can't do anything to January, but I want to know, when you are inducted, do you have the power to push back the vote, to stop the vote until we can get these community schools implemented?
Charter schools were created, and we didn't really control the creation of them, and they're here, and they're going to be here, and I don't think the legislature is going to get rid of them anytime soon. The question for me is, unless there's another choice in the neighborhood, there really shouldn't be a charter school in there. Because if there's a school that we can help bolster and get better and make stronger, we should be doing that, as opposed to throwing away the baby with the bathwater and starting a charter school. So, but don't don't lose sight of the fact that there are going to be some charter schools in the city, and that's the way it's going to be. Now, we don't necessarily endorse that, but we are trying to bolster our public schools the best way we can. So between now and January 4th, I can express my opinion to the SRC. Afterwards, I can express my opinion directly to the appointees, who generally vote against any new charter schools anyway. But we're outnumbered 3-2. With the charter school proponents. If we can get maybe one of those members, maybe if the governor would ask one of those members to leave and appoint somebody else, that may work. But we're working on those possibilities now. But hang tough, and we'll do our best, I promise. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I will.
Councilman-elect Kenney and Ms. McConnell, I wanted to direct this to you. My name is Tim Carney. I work for an organization called TURN, the Tenant Union Representative Network. I'm here to give 7 suggestions for the new administration. 2 of them are legislative. They'd have to pass council. 5 of them are administrative, and we hope we can work on you to do these because it would help tenants tremendously in the city. 47% of all the households in the city of Philadelphia are renters. It's half the population of Philadelphia rents, and these things are very important, especially when you're dealing, as we do every day, with the people who have the 10% worst landlords in the city. The 2 pieces of legislation, we need to pass rent control, rent stabilization. Then we need to pass, and this is real important, we hope to introduce it soon, is just cause eviction, security of tenure. New Jersey has it for the whole state, PHA has it, but we don't have it in the private market here in Philadelphia. For the 5 things that we could do administratively, and we'd like to work with you, special police unit for illegal lockouts, somebody who would know the law inside and out and not be scared to arrest the really horrible landlords and save the people's houses. More L&I inspectors to do inspections so that it's not a 20-day wait or up to 20-day wait for residential inspections. Public access for the certificates of rental suitability data. We have it for licenses and other things. It's just a computer thing. We need it for the judges and the tenants going to court.
Tim, can you do this? Why don't you just give us that so we can move right there? Why don't you go back there? Yes.
My name is Sahir Mohammed. I just have a quick question. The schools that were sold over the years, just like Germantown and all those other schools, what would y'all do about getting them back, or can y'all get them back, or are they closed forever?
I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for you right now. I could find out. If you give Mike Keisha, who's just had the microphone with you, a way to contact you, we'll get back to you and see what the alternatives and possibilities are. I couldn't give you an answer right now off the top of my head. Okay, get Mike Keisha your contact information.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Denise Dean Smith. I was a resident here in this area on Woodstock and Chew, so I grew up in this area. However, I went to the schools on this area, but I graduated from Dobbins Vocational Tech. Currently, I'm a sub-teacher there because I believe in giving back to my community. I left here in '78. I just returned last year. Coming back here is a culture shock in the school system for me. And because of that, and I've seen other school systems in Texas and in Virginia, where I lived for more than 24 years between both states. So I know things can be much better here. Much better here. If they can do it, I don't see why we can't. Not only is there a problem in the community, but there is a problem also in the schools. I have been working on core committee initiatives for my alumni, looking for a job. I came right back to Dobbins, and I got involved with the alumni. We have been doing a lot of work at Dobbins. 1, to make sure it doesn't become a charter. 2, to get some of the work done that needed to be done there. And we have been making some successes. But me being a teacher there now, I have found inside there are a lot of things that need to be done with the students. I'm just urging alumni, go back to your school.
I don't want to interrupt.
Get involved.
Excuse me. I don't want to
become
interrupt
part
you.
of transformation programs to
Please.
deal with behavior, man.
I hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. Why don't you go right here? Thank you.
Hi. Hi, Mayor Kennedy. My name is Harry Barsham. I'm a debt advocate here in Philadelphia, and I'm asking the mayor's office with the disabilities are providing services for interpreters to become in public arena in regards to events, activities, the mayor's commission, and I'm looking forward to the mayor's future and what it would be like. And of course, the deaf community needs communication here in Philadelphia, here in the welfare office, in public meetings, in government offices, and things of that nature. And I need those interpreters to show up. Deaf people show up to those type of agencies and it's a stumbling block. Here it is from 2010. It's horrible, and it's a slow transition. It's slow moving. Here in the city of Philadelphia, the city doesn't follow the ADA law. You know that the ADA law is a mandatory thing, and that we need interpreting services for the deaf, the blind, and skilled interpreters. And there needs to be throughout every city agency. Is the mayor planning to increase those type of services?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Deneen Brockington, and I'm a resident of Lower Germantown. And it was great to hear you talk about the community. I know I'm only 4'10", to talk about the community school model and also about the work of coordinating allies and assets in Grace Ferry. But also what's part of our communities are businesses. And in so many of our communities, we have businesses owners that don't live in the community, and therefore the community supports them, help them to generate income, and then they do not reinvest back into the community. And so what I would like to see is some type of incentives for existing businesses to encourage them to reinvest back into the community, like children's and youth programming, many other things, but also to encourage opportunities and resources available for people who live in the community that want to be business owners in their community, that they can do that as well.
First of all, one of the models that I would recommend to you is in South Philadelphia is East Passaic Avenue, which was a perfect example of a kind of a decaying, not totally decayed, but decaying kind of business strip that was really brought back to be one of the #1 food destinations in the country. We can do that in every neighborhood business strip in our city. And Harold Epps, who has agreed to serve as our commerce director, has a passion for neighborhood business development. And he told me he would not take the job unless neighborhood business development was a major part of his responsibility. I look forward to working with him and working with all the elected officials here. And I know Cindy Bass and I talk about Germantown and Shelton all the time about how that it's got a core of real value there that can be really expanded. And the good part about that is, if you control some of the property there, you have the ability to choose who those business people are, and they come from the neighborhood. The other issue is, our opportunity is the 2 floors above it, you can turn into affordable housing for people from the neighborhood. It all can work together, and that's what the model we're looking at to start it in South Philly. We're looking to bring it to as many neighborhood business trips as we can.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Carlton Young. I'm from West Philly. I'm calling you now Mayor Kenney. I supported you. I worked for you in the primary as well as the regular election. And I'm a retired correction officer. And I have a program called Breaking Chains. I left you a package back in your primary. I've also talked with the White Evans staff and well as in the Bass staff. My thing is that...
You want to give that to us?
Yes, I'll bring it up to you.
Okay.
My whole scenario is that if we don't change behaviors with ex-offenders, as well as the young people before they get incarcerated, we're not going to change nothing. And I'm saying that by me doing 18 years in the prison system, I know a little bit how to do that. And I really want to address you with this. I'm even went and spent my own money because I was making good money in the prison system. It was a real good job, But the whole concept is that after 15 years, after being in there 18 years, and in the 3 years I was a guard. That's it. I didn't want to ask you no questions. Don't tell me. Don't ask me. Don't say nothing to me. Just do what you're supposed to do. And the last 15 years was corrections because I started asking questions. I went and spent like $15,000 of my own money to buy enough equipment to put at least 300 people work making clothes. That's waiting in storage now. I'm ready to go to work.
One of the most important elements of bringing the city back and dealing with the actual poverty issue with 26 or 27% are the folks that are incarcerated now and coming back to us. We have to change the narrative on how we deal with them and how we approach them. They're our citizens too. And there are sons and grandsons and nephews and nieces, and we need to figure out a way to allow them to redeem themselves, because they don't want to be in the situation. They don't want to be out on the street hustling. They don't want to be locked up. They don't want to be shot. They don't want any of that stuff, but they go down a road because sometimes there's no other road to go. And I honestly believe that if we pay attention to the reentry in a respectful, decent, dignified way, we can change lives, and people can change their lives and get back. And we're looking forward to doing that.
I'd like to just make this one. We have just like 10 more minutes. We said we're doing an hour, so we have 10 more minutes. So I'm going to have to be tighter so we can get people in. Yes.
Hi, I'm Mayor-elect. I'm Reverend Carmina Pyfrom, and I've been a member of the 35th District's police chaplains and PDAC for the last 13 years, and I would like to know whether or not you have yet given thought to the fact of your administration being continuously involved in the police chaplains, because your incoming police commissioner, he's very much involved with the police chaplains, but at no other time in the history of our country is it important for law enforcement officers who are doing the right thing to be supported.
Well, let me relieve you of any concern. Before the appointment of Commissioner Ross, we had a meeting, and he said to me, unless I'm running my department, I'm not taking this job. So he's running his department, and any programs that he thinks are important and need to be done will be done. And I think clergy plays a huge role and can play even a bigger role in making our communities better places. Because honestly, the average parishioner, the average member of a church, they don't trust me. They trust their reverend. And if I can get that relationship going through the clergy, I think we're going to do wonderful things together. But anything that Commissioner Ross wants in place is going to stay in place without interference from me. And I don't want to jump the line, but this young man down here has had his hand up for a while, and I want to hear from some young people too. So now's your chance.
Why don't you pass the mic?
Should come over here?
Now I'm going to come back to you.
I'll come halfway.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, my name is Talif Cunningham Young, and we have a lot of schools that are good and we have some that are bad, but everybody is hollering that our schools has no money, but we have enough money to build bridges and boardwalks and light for different things. What about some of that money that y'all using for that for our schools?
First of all, I want to thank you for coming out and for being interested in government at your age. I think it's very important. Lisa Delia here is just one of our new elected election commissioners, and would love to have tons more young men like you who are interested in government. And thank you for being here. And we will bring those resources into the schools. You know what? I think part of the problem has been that we don't brag about our success. I mean, if we have a flash mob at 15th and Chestnut, I get 3 days of TV coverage on there. But when I got 2 Gates scholars coming out of Otis Hackney School in South Philly, I don't get any TV coverage. When we have West Philadelphia Automotive Club beating Harvard and MIT, I mean, we get some publicity, but not the way we should. And when I have young people doing the right stuff, they need to be applauded and held up for everyone else to see, as opposed to having people outside of our city think that this city isn't worth investing in. So thank you very much, and we will get to that.
Yes.
Hello, Mayor-elect Kenney. My name is Gabby Raska. I went to school here. I live in the neighborhood, and I am currently a city employee. I'm wondering, as a city employee, I run into a lot of brick walls sometimes trying to communicate with other departments and agencies, and I'm a firm believer in collaboration as a way to, multiply our resources and gain support. So I'm just wondering what kind of network you can create, how you can help facilitate the conversations even within the city and also with the community schools and the community agencies, what your plan is for that.
We don't like silos. We want to make sure that everyone does collaborate with each other. And the way I think you really accomplish that is by showing your workforce that you actually respect them and what they do every day. I tell people all the time when they tell me about city workers this, city workers that, you try walking behind a trash truck 6 days a week. You see how that works for you, And I'm not saying that we're giving away the store. We're going to treat people fairly and we're going to treat the taxpayers fairly. But there's no reason why we can't take your good ideas that you have from your job, which you see every day, and listen to them and maybe try to implement some of those ideas. Because when the workforce feels disjointed from the government, if even in the private sector, if they feel disjointed from the company, they're not productive, as productive as they could be. We're going to have respect and dignity between workers and our management, and our commissioners are going to listen to what you have to say and meet and discuss with our union representatives to make sure we do the best for the taxpayers in the city. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danita Bakes. I'm from North Philly. I'm from Duckery Elementary School in North Philadelphia. We were just on TV, getting the praises of how the transition of our school has transitioned. And we are a school that collaborated with another school. So I'm just here to give support with that things can work. Parents, just keep fighting. Don't stop fighting. Get them petitions wrote. We have a lot of parents and everybody who can't come to the meetings. What does work, get signatures. Signatures work just as well as them being there. That's a help. Get a proposal in. Keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And one other thing I want to say, we're fighting. We want a bill to be passed now to be looked over of the No Child Left Behind law. That has to be changed and alleviated. We want city control back, schools back, and I'm pro-public. Public can work just as much as charter. Whatever you initiate in the charter, put it back in our public. No public schools should be shutting down. We have cigarette taxes. We have this tax, that tax. We have no production of none of the taxes. Still talking about school closures, unacceptable. So let's make it work with the work. We still have time. They say it's December to what? We still have time. Time is time. People is people. People is power. And let's do what you got to do. Keep fighting.
Steve, for Marion Tasco's last request, since she's leaving council, and then she'll just be a citizen we talk to. We'll give her a last request for Marion Tasco right there. The gentleman, this is their last.
Yeah,
yes.
Good evening. Good evening. It's a great honor to be here. I'm a 212 Central High graduate, which is June 59. I came back because I care about my school and I care about all the schools in Philadelphia. Every school a good school. I'd like to see that happen. And here's my simple solution that's been overlooked by all the politicians. Sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. Well, here I'm showing you today. I have come up with a simple solution that the University Fells Institute can vet, examine, improve, and approve. This is my simple solution. The state can take over the airport. The state can run it just like it runs the convention center very well. They can run the airport. They can take it over, state authority. We can receive $5–10 billion from long-term sale of a bond issue that would pay for it, and we would receive a one-time windfall, $5–10 billion, which would be a reserve fund for Philadelphia to use when we can't get the money that we need from Harrisburg, federal government. It would be a reserve fund to fill in the gap, to fall back on, to make sure that we're giving the quality education that our schools need and the good government that our city needs. This is a solution. Sell the airport, float the bonds, no tax money involved. It'll pay for itself, and we'll get $5–10 billion windfall for the city, and we'll be sitting pretty. All right? How many of you agree with that? We don't need an airport.
Thank you very much.
We need money.
Thank you very much.
It'll help the city.
It'll
solve it.
I want to thank you with Albert Martinez, who's co-chair of this transition, and all the transition people here who are volunteers and are citizens. We want to thank you for this first kickoff. And then I want to tomorrow in South Philly tomorrow night, 7:30 tomorrow night in South Philly. So if you didn't get here, you just come on down to South Philly. You can continue to discuss. But we didn't get your questions. We apologize. We wanted to try to get as many people as can. You know what you have to provide the information. And let's give Mayor-elect Jim Kenney a hand and all of his people there. Just give him a hand. Say something, Jim Kenney, and close it out.
I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks for taking the time out of your schedules, away from your home, away from your family. We're in this together. We are not alone. Unless we're together, we'll never make it. So let's hang in there, all right? And thank you. Thank you, man.
Oh, you don't have anything to carry. This magic moment